Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. The ICE raids in LA explode, protesting against the ICE agents doing their job. But a lot of people are starting to blame Democrats, blame Republicans, blame all kinds of people for all the chaos that's erupting and potential martial law that could sweep the country if these things get out of hand. The Republicans are blaming the Democrats, and the Democrats are blaming the Republicans. But whose fault is it really? Like, share, and subscribe. This is Wonders of a Black Woman.
No, I want you to... Hello. Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority.
I want to be secure right now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public apparel.
I need to get in.
Really, Maxine? You need to get in to see if he's okay.
What?
Oh, lady, please. Since when has she ever went to the prisons, went to the homes of the people in her district to make sure that they were okay? She want to make sure that they're okay. She want to make sure they're eating right. She want to make sure they're being treated right. The fuck out of here.
The left has been cosplaying this dystopian society for years, to the point where they are now performing it. They have convinced themselves that we are living in movies like The Hunger Games and Divergent and The Purge. They've been yelling and screaming and tweeting and posting all over social media for months about how the first thing that Donald Trump does when he becomes president is he's going to declare martial law on all the citizens. And I guess they got tired of waiting, so they decided they're going to make that happen themselves. Like, in my opinion, what's happening in LA right now is giving this attitude of like, we've been cosplaying in this movie society for so long and it doesn't feel real enough, so now we're gonna make it feel real. They're out there in LA right now literally setting fires, shutting down traffic, throwing bottles of their own piss at people, literally creating the same chaos that they keep warning everybody about. And here's the kicker. When the police finally do step in, when the National Guard is finally called in, your whole attitude changes. All of a sudden, it's gone from burning cars and waving Mexican flags and doing all of this crazy nonsense to the most peaceful process you guys have had in the last 3 days. Now, am I crazy? Or maybe was it necessary to call them in order to calm you guys down? And then you guys try to spin these narratives that, I'm going to be honest, they would have gotten me 2 years ago. You start posting things like, they're tear gassing babies. Look at this baby that got tear gas in the face. What that tells me is that one of two things happened. Either somebody brought their baby to a riot, to a protest where they had no business bringing children to, or you were bringing the fights to places where innocent people could be just walking down the street and could be harmed by your behavior. I hate to break it to you, but the more likely scenario is not that you're being attacked. The more likely scenario is that you brought the fight to someone else's front lawn. You brought the fight to a place where innocent people who wanted nothing to do with it are now involved. And
This attempt to not only target our sanctuary city, but to frighten us and intimidate us. This is wrong, and I hope that none of you will use those guns to shoot anybody. There's no reason to shoot anybody. Don't allow them.
She needs to lecture the protesters so they're not throwing Molotov cocktails and piss bottles at the officers.
Make your service in a service where you're killing people. Don't do it. Defy them. Don't shoot those stuff. For instance, thank you. Are you going to shoot a protester because you don't like what they're saying? Are you? Why the guns? Why are these guns here? That's my question. I don't get why the guns have to be here. We're a sanctuary city. We know Trump doesn't like us. We know that he's going to try to use us as an example. He's going to try to goad us so that he has a martial law. He even alluded to civil war at one point in talking about this issue.
Los Angeles' City of Angels now on fire. The scene of the first major reckoning of President Trump's second term. 3 days of protests as people march against the government's policies on immigration. Increasingly violent scenes with both sides blaming the other. The White House accused protesters of using violent tactics. Critics said Trump's shocking deployment of the National Guard is simply because he wants to create chaos and division.
Y'all told us to come here for opportunity. We came, and then now it's like, oh, you have to leave. But when I was the working class, y'all loved me, right? But now that we're too many people, what's the issue?
With pockets of
the
demonstrations flaring
Democrats
up
let
over
in
the
too
weekend.
many people. They went overboard. That's what they do. They went overboard. They let in way too many people.
And and incidents of clashes between protesters and police, Trump called in members of California's National Guard. But protesters believe their presence and use of tear gas and flashbang grenades is only inflaming a tense situation, with an Australian reporter struck by a rubber bullet while covering the demonstration.
Let's wrap this up, shall we? The bottom line is every single nation in the world that is sovereign has a right to control its borders, has a right to have a process from which foreign-born people are able to come into the country. If you want to stay in the country other than just tour and visit and leave, there's paperwork and different things you need to do to make sure you're able to do that legally. The Democrats gave these illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, undocumented minors, migrants, whatever you want to call them, they gave them the false hope that they could just totally ignore federal law and the federal government. You are in the United States of America. LA is not a country. California is not a country. You are in the United States of America. Every single nation. I even saw something that Ghana in Africa has a mass deportation effort they're doing now. So it's happening all over in different parts of the world where people have the right to deport. Deportations have happened under just about every president. So I'm really not sure why, well, I am sure why the Democrats are doing this. Look, the Democrats thought that they were going to flood the country with their future voters. They're encouraging people to go out and riot in the street because they want to cause all kinds of chaos to try to force the Republicans to bend the knee and give all of these illegal immigrants mass amnesty so they can have a supermajority and stronghold over these major cities and major states with large electoral college votes. So they will basically be controlling the country for the next 200 years. They're pulling a Lyndon B. Johnson. I'll have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. That's what they're saying. They'll have these N-word immigrants voting Democrats for the next 200 years. I think that it is a horrible threat to democracy what they are doing. That's not democratic, to just flood the country and import all of these people up in here just so you can have a stronghold over the government, and you want to talk about how other people are fascists and dictators. And Maxine Waters, Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, instead of wagging your finger at law enforcement, you should be letting the protesters know to protest peacefully. But instead, you want to soup them up and hype them up. And yes, the tear gas and rubber bullets and National Guard will come in. You are an American city. You are an American state. And the federal government has the right to enforce federal laws. Shame on you for bringing all these people and encouraging all these people to come up in here and pretend as though that they were in some sort of sanctuary state or city. There is no such thing when you are part of a larger body, which is the federal government. There is no sanctuary anything. When the Trump administration first came in, they said if they cooperate with at least getting the criminals out, the ones who committed crimes, the one who have rap sheets and gang tie affiliation, cooperate with getting them out, and then we'll deal with the other stuff later. Instead of them cooperating, you got the judges letting the door open. You have people fighting with ICE agents, people that are actually elected official judges, ordering planes to be turned around, just all of this stuff to obstruct justice, all of this stuff to obstruct, making America safe. We got enough criminals in here. We don't need to import more gangs and criminals up in here. What are the Democrats thinking? The Democrats has had the presidency, the Senate, and the House. So if they wanted to change any of these laws or anything like that, they had the opportunity to do it. You know, obviously they're not effective if they're not able to negotiate something, bargain with something to get some of these reforms to immigration pass. You can't just say you want to open the border and let millions and millions and millions of people flood in. It was too many people too soon, too fast. You're not allowing the housing market and all kinds of markets to adjust. Medical facilities, all kinds of stuff, schools are needed to accommodate the total rush and influx of people that they brought in here. And then they think that they're going to just flip out in the street and riot. Honey, where's the popcorn? How many times have we seen riots in the street? I mean, you know, it's like, give me a break. How many times have people flipped out in the street, tore up stuff? And I mean, come on. You know, it's just like, that's not going to get any laws changed. I really respect Fetterman. And I really apologize because I did not think Senator Fetterman was going to turn out as excellent as he did. But he did. He's a common sense Democrat. He's sitting there and he is talking to the Trump administration about people that need exceptions to the deportation. He's advocating for his constituents in a mature, statesman-like way, instead of calling Trump all kinds of names, encouraging people to flip out in the street, say that he don't have the right to enforce legal immigration, or that he doesn't have the right to enforce immigration laws. That's bullshit. Of course they have the right to enforce immigration laws. I don't see anybody rioting and flipping out in the streets when American citizens are being separated from their families when they go to jail, or when they commit a crime, they're going to jail or something like that. I don't see the Congress people and the senators flying out, making sure they're okay and all of this other stuff. It's really ridiculous. It's very immature. And all of those people is selfish, and it's a grab for power. The Democrats want to grab for power. They want a strong supermajority. They want to be unstoppable. That's why they let all of these people in here. Now, the problem is they let a lot of people in here that are part of gangs, whose money flow is being stopped. You let a lot of terrorists in here. Everybody walking across that border is not some rosy cheeked person that just wants a better life and all of this other stuff. And what's going on with the way they're fanning the flames and the way they are making things more difficult and frustrating people, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have some terror attacks within the next couple of months in this country. And yes, everybody may as well start stocking up your toilet paper, canned goods, and everything else, because I can see a martial law or you being on lockdown. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This is Wonders of a Black Woman. And by the way, if you're here illegally, especially if you've been here illegally for a long time, you've had plenty of chance to get your paperwork together. If you're doing something illegal, you know that you're taking a chance of getting caught. Peace.